So I want to talk about what I've called corruption. I want to illuminate it, first by 3 stories and a little bit of history that will help frame an argument about what corruption has become and what we can do about it. So first, the stories. 2006, I had the honor and the burden of representing a man who, as a boy, had been abused at a boy choir school. This is a picture of that school and the choir in front of it. He was abused by a pathological character who, for a period of almost 10 years, abused over 100 people at this school. Now, whenever we would talk about this case, the focus of people thinking about this issue was on this one man who lived in this part of that extraordinary building. And their question constantly was how to explain this monster. And our focus constantly was to get people to think not about the one man, but about the other people who lived in that institution, about the teachers and the administrators, who each day went to work aware of what was going on and who did nothing. And the question we asked in this case was, where was responsibility here? Was it in the pathological person or in the person who didn't even pick up a telephone? I got involved in the case after the trial court resolved that quite firmly in favor of responsibility simply with the pathological person. Interpreting a law granting immunity to charities, the court held that all wrongs, including criminal wrongs that might be attributed to the institution or the people in the institution, were immunized by this law. That the focus of the law was on the one who we couldn't really reform, and immunizing the people in this institution who could actually do something about the wrong. That case came back to me as I read this book over the summer, Al Gore's new book, The Assault on Reason, which has many virtues and some flaws. But one of the most interesting virtues is the constitutional brief he assembles for why there is a powerful argument in favor of impeachment of this man. Not because of the politics of Democrats versus Republicans, but because of the constitutional politics of the exercise this man has had over the power of the presidency relative to the commands of the Constitution. Gore collects, in the most compelling way imaginable, an argument that it's hard for any constitutional scholar to read and not feel deeply troubled about. Never in the history of this republic, not in the Civil War, not in World War II, has a president exercised power as far from the framers' intent as this president has. Yet what's striking about this book is that, like the trial court in the boy choir case, his focus is solely on the pathological. He never once steps back and asks about the responsibility of those on the outside, in particular the Democrats, who have done nothing to challenge this constitutional excess by this president. He focuses on the one who can't reform. He is committed to this program and the position he is in. He immunizes, in this account, the one entity that could do something, indeed the only entity in our constitutional republic who has the authority to do something, the Congress, in response to this excess of power. That's the meaning of the first story I want you to think about, responsibility. Where does responsibility lie?